This is Mid-Atlantic Women in Agriculture's Wednesday webinar, Digital Tools to Enhance Your Business. Shannon Dill, Extension Educator for Talbot County, will be the presenter. A special thank you to our sponsors, Farm Credit and PNC. Downloads mentioned during this presentation can be found at our website. And unfortunately, because this presentation has been pre-recorded, questions will not be answered during the presentation, but Shannon can be emailed directly with the email address provided. Thanks so much for listening.
We're going to go ahead and get started. This is part of a program that I've worked with Ginger Myers, and we've delivered some of these presentations across the state, and they're actually half-day workshops that we have. I do want to add that I am not formally trained in technology, but I am an early adopter, so talk a little bit about some of this different technology that we use, and I've used it both within my professional as well as my personal life. Just real quickly, some terminology, and I'm not sure if we're going to get through everything today, but if you'll see over down on the right-hand side, there's a pod called Files 3. Feel free to download the larger file, the 1 megabyte file. The handout is the presentation from today, and then the mapping is just a check sheet that we'll go over in a little bit. So those are available, and if we don't get through everything, I can come back and do a part 2. Any questions, please feel free to add to the chat box. So some terminology, a smartphone, we're going to talk a little bit about smartphones and mobile devices today. It's really a small computer that happens to make phone calls. And we'll talk some about the use of smartphone technology. We've got the mobile internet, which we'll use. It's a browser-based access to the internet, and that's from a mobile device using mobile broadband, and you do need a mobile provider. Then there's the wireless internet, and it provides access to the internet from radio waves rather than from a mobile provider. And computers have that ability, laptops, and even your smartphone or your mobile device or tablet have the capability of wireless internet. Those are two very separate things. There is a tablet. Many people are using tablets for this. It's a mobile computer with screen, circuitry, and a battery all in that single unit. And it's equipped with a camera, a mic, a touch screen, and sometimes other type speakers, and all of that is in one unit. Most of you know GPS, Global Positioning System. We'll talk some when we talk about mapping. Location-based services, and this is information which is accessible with mobile devices. And what location-based services do, or LBS, it gives the ability to make use of what your geographical position is. And it really pulls lots of applications together. And the last one that we're going to use today is called cloud computing. And that's the delivery of computing as a service rather than a product. So it's shared resources, software, information that's provided to a multiple devices through one type of program, one type of service. So who out there is looking at buying a new device? Whenever I get I'm always researching what's new and available. I'm getting ready to go up for a new contract on my cell phone, so I've been doing some research. Lots of information about them. You've got lots of choices. Desktop, laptops, tablets, smartphones, what do you get? Do you need them all? So we're going to talk later, what might be the strategy for that. Looking at the memory and the hard drive, and most IT people will tell you to purchase as much as you can afford in memory and hard drive. Photos, videos, music, all of those things take up so much space on your computer. And so having a large memory and a large hard drive is very important. Screen size, depending on where you're going to be, how you're going to be using it, and who's using it, the screen size is important. When you get down to smartphones, you've got a smaller screen size, 3 to 5 inches. Some are getting a little bit larger now. And then you've got tablets, which are kind of in that 7 to 10 range. And then you have laptop and desktops. I always try to research the warranty and repair, and that's something that I would always forget to do. And then I would get to the store and I would sort of, it's kind of that last thing at checkout. And so if you can research that ahead of time is really important. And then looking at what platform you're going to use. And of course, the most popular is the Android system. Then you've also got the Apple systems, and then BlackBerry kind of comes in at a third place there. So just a little bit of issues to consider, and everybody has a personal preference. So, some people might be able, keyboard size is one of those. Some people may be able to use the touchscreen really well. I still like, if I'm going to sit down and really work and type out a document or a spreadsheet, I really want a keyboard. And so sitting down to be able at a laptop or a desktop is very important to me. But I also like the mobility of a tablet or a smartphone. So thinking again about what you're doing and what you're using, the keyboard size, the weight or the screen size, again, what you're able to see and where you need to carry these things. You may need online or external storage. So if I'm using a tablet, I may need to use something cloud-based to get that information. Tablets or smartphones don't have a USB port that we can plug a flash drive into. So you may need to subscribe to some type of cloud service or external storage service. Think about what you're going to be using that computer for. Is it word processing, sitting down at a document, using, doing that? Is it going to be surfing, internet or email? That's very easily done with tablets. Are you going to be looking at electronic books or magazines? What about finances or payroll? And that's one that comes up. Many of our payroll and financial software like QuickBooks or Quicken does still work best on a single laptop or desktop computer. And then looking at where you're going to use it. So if you're going to say you're going to accept credit cards, you may need to have that tablet that has its own mobile service because you may not have access to Wi-Fi. My tablet at home doesn't have a mobile service because I have an internet service and Wi-Fi, so I don't pay for that monthly mobile fee. If I wanted to take that laptop out into the field or to a market or to other places, then I need to find out if there's dependable wireless service or I'm going to need to pay for a mobile plan. And again, considering these is very important because it does get expensive when you're looking at not only the devices, but the mobile plans that are out there. And again, if you're going to be using tablets and smartphones, mostly with tablets, you need a wireless or a cellular connection, and that's required. And then you've got to keep track of your gigabytes. Who's a gigabyte watcher in your family? We have a mobile plan, and I'm the gigabyte watcher, so I get text messages when we're almost close, and then I warn everyone, don't go online for a day or so, until our plan clears. So that's very important, again, depending on what service you have. Just a little bit of wrap up with some final thoughts on just the hardware parts. Smartphones and tablets, they're computers, but they can't be used the exact same way as you use your desktop. Like the keyboard, the mouse, the drive, the memory, the type of software that you use. And consider your business activities. Again, looking at financials, record keeping, and payroll. For those of you that do have a website, if it's still home-based for your business, be sure that it's mobile optimized on smartphones or smaller screens. And that can be done through if you have a web designer or if you're using a service, check and see that it's mobile optimized, because if people are surfing on their tablets or smartphones, you want to be sure that they can see all the information in your website and that it's very easy to view. We're now moving on to the cloud, and if anybody's using a cloud service, if you want to write, if you want to type in the chat box what you're using. There's many services available. Again, it's a service that's offered. It stores your information. Sometimes it's free. It does depend on how much you use. As you go up in more memory and needed memory, there are often charges for it. And then you have apps that then connect you to that application. So I can access it online through my desktop. I can do it on my smartphone with an application or my tablet with an application. And what's nice is then I have access to that information or that photo or that price list or that brochure anywhere that I go on any device that I have. So that's what's really nice about it. I also use it to back up information. So again, it costs depending on the size. Some examples out there are Dropbox, iCloud, Evernote, and many, many more. And often your service provider, your internet service provider, they will offer a service as well. Is anybody using any of those, or is there another one out there that you really like for a cloud service? Okay, Michelle's typing. All right, so I'm not going to bore you with statistics. I think everyone's known. You know how important and mobile technology is out there. As of 2014, 90% of American adults have a cell phone. Okay, and Michelle uses the iCloud and the cloud at home. Okay, great. 58% of American adults have a smartphone. 32% use an e-reader, and 42% own a tablet computer. So again, making sure that things are mobile optimized, making sure that it's easy to read. Even if you're not using a tablet or a smartphone or some of these programs, it doesn't mean that your consumer is not. Okay, Karen's using the iCloud at home, great. So it's important to know what your consumers are doing. 44%, okay, now who's gonna admit to this one? 44% of cell phone owners have slept with their phone next to their beds because they wanted to make sure they didn't miss any calls, text messages, or other updates. And 29% of cell phone owners describe their cell phone as something they can't imagine life without. So again, even if you're not in the statistics, your consumers may be. And I will admit to sleeping with my cell phone. Oh, Michelle's guilty. I'm guilty as well. I sleep with my cell phone. So again, 91% of people, they keep their phone within 3 feet of themselves. 84% said they couldn't go a single day without that. And you can see with this information here that cell phones have surpassed personal computer purchases as well as tablet purchases by use. For those of you using smartphones, this is the marketing share. Android holds the largest operating system, followed very closely by Apple. And then again, this might be hard to see. It's in the handout if you want to print off the webinar PDF. But you can see what people are using, mobile shoppers are using it for. 70% of mobile shoppers are using their smartphone as a store locator. So we're going to talk some about these digital databases. 56% of people use their smartphone to check store prices. And 54% of people use their smartphone to research something prior to buying it. And 37% use it as a shopping list when they shop. So again, it's really, it's a part of our day-to-day life. It's a part of our shopping life. So that's, again, important why farmers and those selling directly should be aware of these statistics. So are these tools or toys? And I love this photo of the globe. I think that is some kind of primitive GPS. And then you've got Snoopy and Charlie, they're texting and tweeting each other. So why should we care about some of this? Lots of applications out there that can help you. And in the chat, if anybody wants, I'm going to go through some of these quickly. If you want to give a shout out to your favorite app, one that you go to often. Lots of decisions out there. I recommend reading the reviews to the applications. There's lots of customer reviews and they can rate them. Watch the space available that you have, especially if you're going to purchase them and you don't have enough space on your phone. Watch the amount of battery they use. Some of these applications are constantly running and they can suck your battery. Be sure to download applications from your marketplace, not directly from a website that you're going to, or an email, or some other type of ad you get. Go directly to your marketplace, so Google Play or iTunes or those type of applications. Light versions are often very helpful with advertisements. There's lots of free ones. Yes, how do you know if an app is constantly running? There should be something in your settings that can tell you what's running, and there's actually some battery watcher apps that you can download. If you see that your phone is dying, you're losing battery by mid to the end of the day, and you haven't been on it very much, you may very likely have something in the background running. So there are some battery watcher applications that you can download, and it'll sort of time them out. Many of your favorite websites or web services have their own apps. So YouTube is much more friendly if you have the application for it than going to your browser on your smartphone or on your tablet. eBay, Craigslist, Skype, social media, all of those are much easier and have a lot more tools available. I sold something on eBay once, and I had the app on, and it was telling me when it was available, when it was sold, and all of that came through as notifications as opposed to having to go to the website and check on that. And they're often grouped in the areas of productivity, business, entertainment, social, lifestyle, sports, all of those type of things. So moving to productivity, here's just a list of a couple different things out there. You know, many of your phones come with, say, a calendar app, but then there are some that have more bells and whistles to it, more functionality of it. Calculator, if you're doing any conversions, you know, that whole saying, we have an app for that, it really is true. It's amazing what they have available. If you're using an email service, the application is probably much more user-friendly. I love my flashlight app. I use it all the time. Mileage and hours, if you're doing some of that tracking for tax purposes, for your business, there's some mileage and hours apps that'll help track things, work times, and that way you have those records at the end of the year. There is some for word processing, and for those of you on social media, the photo and movie apps are really amazing, where you can create little clips, you can create photo montages or collages, and they're again user-friendly, and it's, you know, can very quickly be done and posted, and then you can move on to other business. A lot out there about information and news, weather. Farmers, you know, I'm checking the weather all the time, want to know what's happening, and again, it's going to be using those location-based services to find out where I'm at. Same with Gas Buddy. It uses location-based services. So when I pick up my phone to use Gas Buddy, to use weather, to use Google Earth, to use my navigation, it's gonna want me to have my GPS enabled. So the smartphone brings that together. My smartphone, the internet, where I'm at, and GPS, and all of that comes together. So my phone knows that I'm in Easton today, and I might be in College Park another day, or maybe we're traveling in Pennsylvania. So that location-based services has made the cell phone so much faster and user-friendly because the GPS will tell you exactly where you're at and what's closest to you. Moving on to business applications, national banks. Many of your national banks have credit card apps and services available. There's apps for record keeping and keeping information. And then one that I found the other day, Bump, it trades e-business cards. So if you're not carrying around business cards, you can use Bump. It's one of the popular ones, and you can trade those business cards. So it'll add people directly to your contacts list. And one of the best ways with apps is finding out what other people are using and talking about it. And, you know, I've gone on and downloaded things mostly from word of mouth or recommendations. Ton of social apps, lots out there. You know, many of you are probably using Facebook. They've got pages, and they have even apps within apps. So Facebook has a couple different ones to help with if you're operating a business page. Twitter, and it doesn't use LBS to find the cheapest gas. That's a typo. TweetDeck, it integrates Twitter and Facebook, so that's a great application. It is hard to read sometimes on a cell phone. It's something that if you're using a tablet, it's probably easier because the screen's larger, but TweetDeck and Hootsuite are two great apps for integrating different social media. LinkedIn, Pinterest, blogging, Pandora, all of those have applications that are really easy to use. So what are your favorite apps? Who's out there using some apps that they would like to recommend? Any agricultural apps? There's many out there now. Growing Degree Days is one of them, if that's important to you. If you've got a vineyard or a vegetable crop or a fruit crop, Growing Degree Days is great. ID Weeds, it's got a wonderful photo gallery that you can pull up. So if you're out in a pasture or a field and you want to find out what the ID is. Soil Web, it's the soil survey. Tank Mix Calculator, it's one that helps you do conversions for pesticide applications. Tractor House, don't show your significant others. They will love this this site. It's got the app to it. It's a website as well, but the app's very easy to use if you've got a tablet, so you'll never get your iPad back. Convert Trial, it converts area, length, and mass. PERC, it's pesticide record keeping. So if any of you are spraying and need to keep your pesticide records, that's a great one that's out there. USDA Image Library. So if you're struggling to get some images, if you're trying to create some documents, USDA has an open image library available to you. There's some crop calculators as well as farm market finders on there. So there's some great agricultural or farm apps that you can use. Victoria looks like she uses Snapseed for photo editing, and she says that's great. It's good to edit photos before putting them on the website. And do you use that on your mobile device, Victoria? Okay, she uses that on her phone. So that way you can take snap a shot, do an editing, create, can you put text over top, and then go ahead and post it directly to your social media sites. Okay, moving out of applications, but not quite yet, is the QR codes. And this takes an app. It takes a QR or bar scanner code reader. And so what you'll use is you'll download that application to your phone or your tablet. And QR stands for quick response. And these codes turn into URLs, vCards, or any kind of text. And it takes these pixels. So this one down here on the left-hand corner, that will take you, if you scan it right now, it'll take your phone to our Women in Ag webpage. And what it does is it's a great marketing feature. It can take people, it can drive them to your website, it can give them information about a product or a location or a direction, and you're seeing these pop up all over the place now. It helps you you can generate your own online for your marketing. So if you search on the web for free QR code generator, You can come up with one, and it'll make you one for free. And you can download this, it as a JPEG, so you download it as a picture. And then you can cut and paste these on documents, price lists, signage, business cards. And it's a great way to either drive people anywhere, any kind of information you have on the web. So maybe, we can talk a little bit about, you can put in a chat what you could use these for, what you could drive people to. It could be a Facebook page. So you want them, like us on Facebook. It could be the QR code. It could be your website. It could be a price list. I've seen these at amusement parks. I've seen these at nurseries where you're walking through, and if you want to find out more about a plant or a landscape, you can scan it, and it'll tell you the listing of plants, and full sun, dry sun, droughty, requires water or sandy soils. And so, again, you can easily generate them for free online, and then, again, add them to your materials. Does anybody have QR codes or using those? Alrighty. The next is a little bit about apps that accept credit card payments. You can track who uses them, okay? That's a great question, Karen, and I believe you can track them in an analytics service. You can see that if they're coming from a mobile device directly to your website. So if you had a page and they were going from a mobile device, I believe your analytics would tell you where the traffic is coming from. So who is accepting credit card payments through a smartphone? And I don't know that I've found anybody that says they haven't absolutely loved this feature. It really is important depending on what products you're selling, and especially how specialty or high-end your products are. So people that are shopping at a farmer's market, if they only have $20 in cash, they know that. But if you accept credit cards, then there is a higher thought that they would go ahead and purchase more. Those that are selling meats, cheeses, wines, anything that are higher end or more expensive products, this is really a necessity. People aren't carrying cash. Do a comparison. There's a couple available out there. Talk with your bank. Your bank might actually offer one. Check the percentage, the monthly or other fees, and read the reviews, what hardware it requires, and what credit cards are accepted. So out there is GoPayment, and you can check terms of service. There's Pay Anywhere, and then there's Square, which probably has been the most popular one. And they've got a couple different versions. They've got a mobile one on your cell phone, and then they've got one on an iPad or a tablet that you can do an inventory with. Square, I believe it's still at $2.70 or 2.75% per swipe for all cards. And it's really one simple rate. If you manually have to enter it and don't swipe it, it is more. It provides a next day payout with direct deposits to your bank. And it does take, all of these take really a fast setup. So as you start doing more business, and depending on where your vendors are, very important way of accepting, and again, the apps that are there for you. All right, that's all I have on applications. I do want to talk a little bit about security. Has anybody had a virus on their cell phone yet? I know they're out there. We have one of our personal family ones that shut down with a virus. There are over 40 plus infected apps for just Androids, and there's some ways to defend against them. Do a background check on the app developer and search online to make sure they're legitimate. Do install a mobile security product for your device, and Lookout Security is one of the popular ones. iPhones have, I believe, their own, and then it can also help you find your iPhone. Some of these security features also If you lose it, it will allow you to clear all your information off that phone. So it would clear your contacts, any passwords, anything that someone who might pick it up or might have stolen it would have access to. So these mobile security products are very, very helpful. Again, don't download apps that aren't from an official app store, and because you might have more exposure to pirated applications. Don't purchase information that aren't officially released by your financial institution. So, if you're going to put your financial information on an application, you've got to look into the security of it, and I would talk also with your bank about it. And understand return policies. Many apps cannot be returned or are extremely difficult to be refunded. If I believe iTunes or the iPhone applications have come out with a new return service. Before it was, you actually had to go back. You didn't go to iTunes. You actually had to go back to the app creator if something was accidentally downloaded or purchased. And if you have children in the household that are playing games or on your phones, it's very, very easy for them to make these purchases. So you can beware. We do have a question. How do you know who's official and who is not? That is very good. Again, from your app store, I would talk to your bank before you put anything personal on these applications or enter those into your applications. Anything that you feel is secure that you didn't want out there, especially if it's financially related, I would talk to your bank. All of these have ratings, and I would definitely look at your app service to find out if it's official or legitimate or not. Again, I mean, there's websites now where I could go on, log on, and create my own app. And so I also look at word of mouth and who's using things. So if a friend downloaded an app, and often I'll even post something on Facebook on my personal page, anybody using this or any recommendations for this, and to see from word of mouth on what people are using and what they recommend. All right, we're going to be changing gears a little bit as we close out. Digital databases was one of the topics, and this is extremely important if people are trying to find you. Down in the Files 3, there is a checklist that you can download, but we're going to turn a little bit. There's been a lot of changes in access to media. Now with the smartphone, with internet and GPS, you get this location awareness, and we talked a little bit about this, how Gas Buddy knows or navigation knows exactly where you're at, and or your smartphone knows exactly where you're at. So it creates this location awareness. And sometimes you ask yourself, how did all that information get in there? And what happens is there's a lot of different ways. Business centers provide those, public directories, yellow pages, super pages, feeds from other major websites like TripAdvisor, and the user-generated content. It all goes onto these local databases, and it creates these local listings for you. So you may very likely have a local listing, and you don't even know it if you haven't searched for it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So here's a couple of the ones that are out there that you may be on. Even if you haven't posted yourself on, you may be listed on. The advice is to put yourself on these maps yourself using these different databases. That way you're sure that you have accurate information, that the information is correct, that the products are correct, that the location is correct, and we'll show some examples. These are all the different databases, and again, that check sheet gives the websites to these. It is, I will be very honest, it is very time consuming to add yourself onto these maps. Initially, you do have to confirm that you're the owner of the business with a PIN number or a phone call, but I will tell you that it is very, very helpful to your consumers who are looking for you or the information that's out there. So this check sheet has the websites, and it also has a place to put usernames and passwords because, surprise, surprise, you do have to have a login and a password. And I know you guys are thinking another password, but again, this is very, very nice to have. So we'll talk a little bit about this. We're going to talk really about Google Maps right now. I've got some screenshots on it. Many of the other ones that we are going to do talk about will be very similar to this. Google Maps provides tools for business owners to support their marketing efforts. Smartphone apps use that Google Map data to support navigation by default. So maximize your marketing exposure to the mobile internet consumers. They're already searching for your business in your area anyway. So put yourself on the map. You're going to utilize various service providers to enhance your web presence. And you're going to be using these customized digital maps. So what is your role as a business owner, a manager, or community member? You can find and document errors or missing information. You can make corrections if there's misinformation out there. You can maximize content. And you're going to end up taking ownership of your postings. So it's not vain to Google yourself, to Google your business. Many marketers say it's something you should do monthly to find out what's being said about you or what's out there. You can use your name, you can use your business location, and to find out where you are listed and if the information is correct. TripAdvisor will list your business or your service or your products or your restaurant, whether you create a posting or not, because people could post on there. So I've got a couple examples, and I'm not sure how easy or hard this is to read, but a couple years ago when we were going through these trainings, I decided I was going to log on and I do the website for the Talbot County Fair. Well, I took the screenshot because it says that Talbot County Fair is on Harrison Lane in Easton, which is in right downtown Easton. That is not where our fair is held. It's held outside Easton at our fairgrounds. But no one would have known it if they had never been to the fair and they were trying to find it. They would have been sent to downtown Easton because that's what came up on our Google Maps. So I started doing some research because I found that not only were our fairs not listed very well, neither were our University of Maryland Extension offices. So this is an example of the Queen Anne's County Extension office. It's got the correct information. They've got it in Centerville. They've got the website. You can see pictures, and these are pictures from the Master Gardener workshops. You can see the Master Gardeners out here at a community fair, a booth. The pin is correct. You can see where the pin has G. But if you look over top the Google map, it says business owner ? That question mark says to me that the business did not post this, that they're still looking for a business owner to accept that site. So you can see that the business owner has not accepted that site. So all of those pictures have just come randomly through the internet and people searching. It's come up that it was part of University of Maryland Extension in Talbot, or in Queen Anne's County. This is a picture of the Y Research Center in Queenstown, Maryland. I thought it was interesting when I searched it. They're not a business owner. They haven't taken ownership of that business listing yet. And you can see the palm tree and the blue water. That's not a picture of the research center. That's not a picture of the Y River. So you can again see that it's scooping up. Google is just taking information from University of Maryland and just posting it on these websites. So it can do the same for your business if you don't take ownership. So the Talbot County site, I went through the owner verified process. So you can see now over top of the Google Maps, it says that this is an owner verified listing and it's got a check mark on it. I added a picture, and you can see it says here from the owner. I added a picture of our office building so people knew what it looked like when they pulled in. A nice thing about the owner verification is that we sit a little bit off the road. We're off of a new road. And so I would have the ability to take that pin, which is that dot, I guess it's a red icon with the black dot in the middle, and I can move that all over the place. So if the GPS address didn't take us directly to the right place, I can move it around. So if you have a back lane you want people to go up or a different place, you can move that. So what's nice also about Owner Verified, not only on here, I can add lots of information, what our hours are, what our categories are, what people can be searching for us with. Once I'm Owner Verified, I then can get Google information about the statistics about people visiting the website, who's been looking for me. And kind of going back to what Karen says, you know, where are people coming from? What are they looking at? So you can see here that I had 236 impressions, and this was just in a window of Monday, April 30th, 2012 to Monday, May 28th, 2012. So you can do your, you know, how many days. We had 22 actions. We had 10 clicks for more information on maps. We had 10 clicks for driving directions, and we had 2 clicks that actually went to our website. So once you're on to these websites, you can get some data about the people that are looking for you and are coming to your site. So what did people search for to find us? It was University of Maryland Extension. It was college, colleges, University of Maryland. Number 7 was kind of random. It's called Sandbar. I'm not sure how they found us with that. And adult education. So you can see what these top queries are. And one of the interesting things about web design and getting hits is you may have heard Google Juice, and there's all kinds of information behind Google Juice. But one of it is just using these tag words. If that's how they're searching for me, then I need to make sure my website is populated with adult education, with University of Maryland Extension, as many places as I can about College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. So I can use that information. And then lastly, I thought this was really interesting. Where are the driving directions results coming from? So you can see that somebody must have been trying to come to our office from Hanover. We had 5 driving requests from Hanover. We had some from Arbutus, St. Michael's, and Cambridge. So then again, you can find out where your consumers are looking for you and where they're driving from. So I had done, again, I was doing some research on University of Maryland Extension, and we were in a kind of a couple different ways. So Bing, this is a search tool from Bing, and then there was one from MapQuest. And I just wanted to show that these are very different. So here's one. If I type in and search for University of Maryland Extension on Bing, for the state, I got 2 hits. When I searched on MapQuest for University of Maryland Extension, I got many different ones. So that's why being on as many of these databases as you can, I guess, stomach, as you can physically manage or mentally manage maybe, is a good idea because, again, you can optimize that. So this is the one for Google, and I'm just going to go through these a couple. I talked a little bit about these. You know, look for your business. You can do that on Google Maps and see if you come up. You can change your map marker or location. So again, that's very nice if it doesn't come up where you want people to know to travel to. That little dot is where navigation is going to send people directly to. So it really should be to that entrance of where they need to turn. Again, you can add lots of information. You can tell them what you offer. You can add photos. You can add YouTube. You can add websites. Lots of different information here. This is just a little bit of information on Google Places on how to validate the listing. So not every person, you know, if I wasn't a business owner, I can't accept that. So what it's going to ask is when you go into Google Places, it's going to offer you a phone call or a postcard, and it will either call that phone number or it will mail it to that business address. And then you can go back in once you've verified, then you can validate that listing and you can verify that, yes, that is actually your business and you have the authority to make those changes on it. So validating the listing is important. So that means once you enter this information, you do need to follow up and make sure you validate everything. Just forewarning, Google does make money on this, and if you ask how, they're going to try to sell you Google Juice, and this is AdWords. They will give you some free dollars in AdWords. It's up to you whether you want to use them. I've heard mixed reviews about using AdWords, and sometimes there are coupons that come available. Just read the fine print. So just wrapping up this about the digital databases, searches on Google, Yahoo, and Bing provided different information in different businesses. Being listed on just the one database is not always enough. You must register your businesses on all of them to maximize your exposure. And you need to check listings to make sure the reviews, photos, etc. are acceptable. So continue to Google yourself and check those listings on a regular basis. You know, add it to your marketing plan and designate some time to do that, to find out what's being said. So we're wrapping up, and I hope you guys have enjoyed today. I have some final thoughts. Smartphones, tablets are great accessories for doing business, and your customers are using these to find you, to shop, to get information. So even if you maybe don't use it as much, or say, well, I don't use QR codes, well, your customers may. So that's why it is important.
Thank you for watching our archived presentation of our Wednesday webinar. If you would like to see more archived Wednesday webinars, please visit our YouTube channel, or to find a schedule of upcoming live webinars, visit our website.